Newscast on Equinox television. The government spokesperson and Cameroon's Minister of Communication has put an end to widespread speculations and allegations on the whereabouts of the president of the interim government of Ambazonia and 46 others of his collaborators. Issa Bakari, in a press conference Monday, confirmed their presence in the country and said that they arrived few hours ago. During the press briefing, which lasted for a few minutes, the communication boss said that Sisiku Ayuktabe and Co. are in the hands of judicial authorities and will have to face the law. He described their transfer to Cameroon as an outcome of military ties between Cameroon and Nigeria. It is the first official outing of Cameroonian authorities since they were arrested on the 5th of January 2018. Let's have the details of the press conference that held in Yaoundé yesterday Monday in the following excerpt.
Were handed a few hours ago to the Cameroonian judiciary, before which they will be tried for their crimes. The government of Cameroon takes this opportunity to commend the excellent multifaceted cooperation existing between Nigeria and Cameroon, particularly with regard to security. The government of Cameroon reaffirms the determination of both countries, under the leadership of their respective head of state, never to tolerate that their territory be used as a base for destabilizing activities directed against one of them. I express gratitude and thanks. Were handed
Minister Issa Bakari, in a press briefing that took place in Yaoundé yesterday, is so far the first official outing of Cameroonian authorities after the arrest of the Anglophone leaders 25 days ago. It has been from one speculation to another since the arrest 25 days ago. What happened from the 5th of January that they were arrested today? Reporter Innocent Aze provides an answer.
Julius Sisiku Ayuktabe and his 8 other collaborators making part of the Ambazonian government were arrested on Friday, January 5th, 2018 at exactly 7:30 p.m. at Neva Hotel in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, by the country's State Security Service. This was during a meeting that aimed at advancing ways to help displaced Anglophones in Nigeria due to the escalation of the Anglophone crisis. By the time of their arrest, neither the government of Nigeria nor that of Cameroon commented on the disappearance of the Ambazonian leaders. The aim was to extradite the leaders to Cameroon by the Nigerian government that claimed they were sponsoring and training terrorists on the Nigerian soil. The African Bar Association reacted quickly, describing it as unlawful arrest and abduction of Cameroonian refugees by Nigerian security agents believed to be from the Department of State Security of Nigeria, thereby violating Nigeria's obligation to protect refugees. Femi Falana, a human rights lawyer, had called for the release of the Ambazonian leaders from illegal custody or charged within 48 hours, threatening court action to secure the enforcement of their fundamental rights to personal liberty. The United Nations High Commission for Refugees had also negotiated for their release. The Sacred Ties aims at assisting to arrest the secessionists declared wanted by Cameroonian government after it issued international arrest warrants. On January 26, France 24 News Channel reported Nigerian government had extradited Sisiku Tabe and his cabinet members to Yaoundé to face torture and unfair trial. It was highly disputed by Cameroonians in and out of the country as government officials remained mute. It was only on Monday, January 29, that Cameroon's communication minister Issa Bakari, in a press briefing, confirmed the Ambazonian President Julius Sisiku Tabe and other 46 secessionists have arrived in Yaoundé, Cameroon to face trial of their crimes.
They will be tried for their...
And how can the arrest be interpreted in legal terms? Our guest tonight is Barrister Fujon So. He's going to be talking about it in just a few minutes from now. That's going to be in the second part of this newscast. Now we talk about rising insecurity in the economic capital Douala. The sum of 5 million francs CFA has been stolen from a money transfer agency at Ndokoti here in the city of Douala. A gang of 6 attacked the said company. That was Monday night, and as the bank clerks were concluding their work. And it should be noted that one of the armed bandits died after he was beaten by the angry population. Details with Smart Njikan Gabriel.
It was a long day for workers of Express Union located at Ndokoti Monday night. The money transfer agency was a victim of 6 armed bandits who made away with some huge amount of money worth about 5 million francs CFA. For this weakness,
je vais chez ma mère en Doximbi. Quand j'arrive à quelques centimètres du portail,
I was heading to my mother's residence at Doximbi. When some few meters to the gate, I heard an alert and I saw the security guard going to get a stick. When we started following him, a commissioned motorcycle rider took the courage to pull him down before we started beating him.
celui que nous avions récupéré avait déjà reçu des cailloux. Il avait d'abord tiré pour nous effrayer. Après ça, nous l'avons mis à le taper.
Pierre, who is a driver by profession and 44 years old, was aided in his operation alongside his other colleagues by 2 guns, a pistol and a locally made gun. The commander of the Gendarmerie Research Unit at Ndokbat, Betty Minyono Dominic, quickly descended to the scene, but unfortunately couldn't lay hand on the alleged armed bandits.
Les besquinaires qui ont vécu la scène se sont mis à leur poursuite.
The commissioned motorcycle riders who were the first at the scene followed the thieves. When we arrived, we were given directives and we also went after them. But we've not covered 500 meters when we saw that the motorcycle riders had already caught up with one and were administering mob justice on him. Our attempts at surviving him to help us in our investigations failed. Pierre, who lost a lot of blood, died as he was taken to the hospital. Commander Betty calls on the population to stop mob justice because it doesn't help them in their work.
Éviter le verdict populaire et des cas comme ceci, ils nous empêchent de faire notre travail.
As gendarme officers continue to investigate about the runaway thieves, it will be important to note that it was the second time the money transfer agency at Ndokoti was being robbed and huge amount of money taken away.
And from Ndokoti to Cité de Pamiers, still here in the economic capital Douala, a gang of bandits broke into 7 shops in the market at Cité de Pamiers, making away with goods and money. The traders say that incompetent security guards in the market are responsible for the incident that they have so far termed recurrent. Details with Katrin Kone.
The high rate of insecurity is still a call for concern at the Cité de Pamiers market in the Douala 5 municipality. Never a day goes by with traders in this market complaining of broken stores and stolen items by hoodlums.
There are many people still in this market. There's still my neighbor, these 2 neighbors. The other day, 2 weeks now, there's still this one. The other week, the opposite neighbor.
12 stores in the market were bungled by yet to be identified men of the underworld who made away with cash and goods.
So now they are still going to go and still 12 stores. I don't know that tomorrow will be my own. So I don't really know. No, that is too much.
The situation, which is not first of its kind, has been blamed by traders on the insufficient, old and ill-equipped security guards put in place to assure security.
We have problem with our guards. We don't have veritable guides in our markets. We have a Tupuri. They don't speak French. When we have a problem in our market, when you ask them, they tell you, il fait que clé, marché, gardien descendu donc. It means that you don't have value.
The traders are calling on authorities in charge to employ more competent security guards at the market.
We want to change the watchmen. We want the community to change the watchmen and they bring another people. We don't need these people again. Change even the president. All these people want to change all to bring another people. We don't want guardians. We want those security people who come with dog.
To them, only a change of security guard will help reduce the high rate of insecurity at the market.
And that brings us to the end of this first segment of the news. Time for us to meet our guest. We shall be right back. Stay with us. Barrister Frujanso, as I said earlier, a common law lawyer, a legal mind here in the country's economic capital, Douala, is our guest for tonight. Barrister, good evening. Thank you so much for coming.
Good evening, madam. Thank you for inviting me.
Good evening once again. Barrister, you say that the 47 arrested Anglophones in Nigeria that were transferred recently to Cameroon were simply abducted and not arrested. Why did you say so?
Yes, I say so, and I want to dispute the number. I don't know where that number is coming from. I say so because there's a procedure for extradition, and that procedure is a procedure in court. And there has been no court hearing since these people were abducted on the 5th of January. There has been no court hearing. And Mr. Chiruma did not tell us a lot of things. He didn't tell us when they arrived Cameroon.
He said few hours ago.
No, he said few hours ago they were given over to the judicial authorities. He did not say that few hours ago they arrived Cameroon. No, unless I didn't hear you well. I didn't hear him well. Now, extradition must have a judgment. If Mr. Chiruma keeps using the word extradition, he should publish that judgment. He should publish that judgment by the Abuja High Court. He should publish that judgment by the Abuja High Court that authorized the Nigerian government to hand over those people to them. So the only other option that is left is kidnapping.
There is this interesting post or outing of a human rights lawyer that has actually written, and let me quote him, his words. He said that the transfer of Sisiku Ayuk and others was not the decision of Nigeria's Attorney General according to the Nigerian Extradition Act.
Exactly.
The Attorney General must be moved and that the suspect given the opportunity to defend themselves.
Exactly.
It is everything other than deportation. Those were his declarations.
Exactly.
Is that what you are talking about?
That is what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. The Attorney General of Nigeria knows nothing about how these people were brought to this country. Therefore, the judicial system in Nigeria knows nothing about how these people were gotten from Nigeria. And the only other thing left is a very well worked out kidnapping organized between the two secret services of Cameroon and Nigeria. There are no other ways. And when the Nigerian government knows about it, they have to take responsibility. Because the United Nations High Commission for Refugees is in Nigeria. What is the United Nations High Commission for Refugees saying about this? And let Mr. Chiruma show us these people who have arrived Cameroon. Because since the 5th of January, nobody has seen them. No. Nobody has seen them. Up to and including now that I'm talking to you. No lawyer, no family member, nothing. If they are in Cameroon, where are they? Have they been seen by family members? Have they been seen by any lawyer? Where are they? They are terrorists. Let me finish. Handcuff them, bring them to the press, and say these are the terrorists, because they consider them, this government consider those people terrorists. So, if they are terrorists, therefore they are dangerous. Show us on the screen CRTV or whatever network that they use, so that we know, we Cameroonians will have it, we're entitled to know, to see the faces of these people.
And calling them terrorists, it therefore indicates that their fate has so far been defined.
Yes, they have already defined.
Because he indicated
what
that
to do
they
with
are
them.
Those responsible for the atrocities being committed in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon. Does it mean that the court that they are going to be tried in is already known?
Yeah.
Military tribunal in
if it's a military tribunal, then it is sure we already know what the outcome is going to be. But I want to also to sound an alarm. I may be pessimistic, but nobody has seen any of those people. Are they alive? Are they living? Let's see them.
That's another curiosity.
That's another curiosity.
Barrister, the Minister of Communication has actually hailed the military cooperation between Cameroon and Nigeria, because you are talking about the fact that there's no legal provision that allows Cameroon to extradite those that have been arrested, refugees from neighboring Nigeria to Cameroon. Could there be some bilateral ties because of the cooperation between Cameroon and Nigeria?
I want to give that to them. That is there may be some bilateral agreement, but that agreement operates only during war. These people were taken by DSS in Nigeria, police. Was there any war situation where they say they were captured or the war front, just like Cameroon captured Nigerian terrorists in the north and handed the terrorists to Nigeria? That was in a war situation where terrorists were captured. These people were holding a meeting in a hotel. Were they armed? Were they dangerous? Was there a war situation? Nigeria and Cameroon will have to explain to the world what is going on here.
Now, the African Bar Association talked about the illegality of the arrest. We call it officials of the United Nations High Commission for Refugees in Nigeria talking about it, calling it illegal, that it is illegal to transfer a refugee from the country that is hosting them, like in Nigeria, to Cameroon after they have been arrested. What do you have to say about the current twist of events? Following their reactions?
The African Bar Association is doing what it has to do, but they should also know that dictators don't listen to that kind of thing.
So they should do more than that.
They should do more than that. They have to go to court somewhere, somehow. If they are really serious, pronouncements alone will not do it. But I want to sound an alarm. Where are these people? If they are in Cameroon, let the Minister of Communication, government spokesman, ask the security people to display them, and we see them on the screen. Because since the 5th of January, nobody has seen them.
One of the biggest questions, what would happen from now, after it has been confirmed that they are in Cameroon? What will happen between now, hence?
Well, I don't know whether they will allow lawyers to see them. The next few days will tell. If they allow lawyers to see them...
It's still an uncertainty what will happen.
There's an uncertainty. We don't know what is going on. Mr. Chiruma can come and run his mouth and say all whatever he wants to say, but we want to see proper action. We want to see, we Cameroonians are interested to see his quote terrorists. Even if he has to chain them and defend them, and we'll see them.
Now, Barrister, what will be the impact of this on the current situation in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon that has been going on for more than 1 year now?
The situation is already very volatile. The situation in North and Southwest is already very volatile. I am suspecting that it's going to escalate. It's going to escalate. That's my suspicion. As a political observer, I think that they have thrown petrol on an existing fire. Because do they have to do that? Why did they not go legally? If these people actually were arrested in Nigeria normally, they should have had their day in court for extradition, so that a judgment should be issued. If Mr. Chiruma is talking about extradition, let him publish the judgment of the Abuja High Court.
No, Barrister, it's observers have it that for the Cameroonian authorities to work in collaboration with Nigerian authorities to secure the transfer of the arrested Ambazonian leaders from Nigeria to Cameroon. It means that the situation of refugees, thousands of them that are in Nigeria, is also going to be very
Exactly. That is my fear.
It's going to be another problem.
That is my fear.
It means they are not safe in Nigeria. That's another issue.
The implication of what has just happened means that the refugees in Nigeria are not safe. We, English-speaking people in this country, we don't have any place to run to. If you are being pursued today, you cannot escape to a neighboring country, because we have Nigeria, which I thought up to now was a place where an Anglophone who is escaping persecution, political persecution, can run to. Number two, we are surrounded by Francophone countries who listen to the BI regime. So we are finished. We are in a pot. Everybody is in a pot. And the worst of it is that the refugees in Nigeria do not have protection at all, because the High Commission for Refugees has failed everybody, because they have not come out with any communique up to now, since these people were known to be in Cameroon. They have said nothing.
Are you talking about the United Nations High Commission for Refugees?
Yes.
They have been making a series of outings stating the number of Cameroonians that are in Nigeria.
Can they carefully say that they saw those leaders in Nigeria? I have not seen anything that suggests that they saw them. Nobody has seen those people since the 5th of January.
Now, Barrister, if there were proposals that you would give as far as the current situation is concerned, if you were to give some recommendations, what would they be?
The people that were supposed to pilot the negotiations for now have been arrested. That is, if they are alive. If they think that they have cut the head of this struggle, they are lying, because it has instead put fire in the whole thing. Until that fire quenches a little bit, for any dialogue to take place, the only solution is a dialogue, an inclusive dialogue. There is no country without problems. But it looks like the BI regime is not interested in any kind of dialogue. Mr. Chiruma said it. We do not negotiate with terrorists. We are not going to negotiate with secessionists and terrorists. And he called the people who have arrived, that is, if they are here, because up to now I cannot confirm that they are here until I see them. He calls them terrorists. So he cannot negotiate with them. And who is a terrorist among us Anglophones? Who is a terrorist? I don't know. So, where are we going? We are heading towards a civil war. And I don't know whether there's any way to prevent it.
Thank you so much, Barrister. Barrister, they're predicting a bleak future as far as the Anglophone crisis is concerned. Barrister Fujonso, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Talking Point.
Thank you, Madam, for inviting me.
That was a legal mind, a common law lawyer, joining us in the second part of this newscast. Viewers, we thank you so much for joining us in this edition of the Prime Time 6 p.m. newscast on ETV. We thank you so much for joining us. Wishing you a blessed stay in the company of our programs. Until we meet again, goodbye.